Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Thank you very much. I'm a teacher, so I always place myself on the back. People get feedback. Okay, so as already mentioned, I'm from India, Zambia. I'm Chisupa, Minister of Health. Also a lecturer in pediatrics and vaccines. So we are going to discuss our presentation. We'll stick to discussing the strategies we're using in Zambia, and also secondly, we're going to look at how we are going to restore the vaccination program after the COVID interruption. So as putting up the slides, we will start our discussion, then we'll catch up with the slides. That's okay. It's okay? Okay. So to start in our discussion, is to note that Zambia, we did introduce the demo of HPV in 2015. And you had in the introduction that Dr. John was mentioning that she was a pioneer. In fact, she was very moderate and modest in saying she was a pioneer. She was actually our permanent secretary in the Ministry of Health, and also permanent secretary in Public Service Management Division Cabinet Office. So that's a very popular hour. So you can imagine the equals on the program, and I'm sure after I present, you definitely have something to mention about it. So that demo which was done in Lusaka is what actually gave me impetus on the decisions we made and the plans we made for us to roll out the HPV vaccination. So the key thing to note from that demo is that we had to make a decision that we did earlier that big members mentioned earlier in the morning, that we had to make a decision what would our cohorts will it be defined by grade or defined by age. So in the demo we tried to define by grade, which seemed to work in Osaka because this Osaka province was quite urban, but didn't work so well in areas where it was remote and rural. So we decided afterwards to change. Instead of defining it by grade, we had to define it by age. Then the next thing after that, then in 2019, we rolled out the COVID vaccination program for the whole country, and we gave the first one dose in 2019, whose coverage was very impressive, which was over 90%. So with that, we were very impressed and advanced. But after that production and then getting the wonderful coverage in the first production, we noted the downward trend from that. And also we also noted the issues to do with the dropout between HPV1 and HPV2. Okay, right. So, I already mentioned that. So our target is to, not like Nigeria, reaching 17 billion girls. That's the population for Zambia actually. It's just 2.1 billion intending to reach over a period of 5 years. And we are hoping that 80% of them can reach them through the school health programs, then the 15% from the outreaches, and the 5% from the health facilities also come to the programs. Okay, so just to show you dramatically the coverage, how it came out. So the first one in 2019, we had about 95% coverage. Then in 2020, we had 74% coverage HPV1 and 61% coverage HPV2, about 80% dropouts. Then it became worse in 2021, and we know the issue there. COVID took over everything, everybody had to mock up whatever they're doing so that you can go and have watching COVID. So that also did disturb the programming. So COVID disturbed in so many ways that people were scared that whatever vaccine you're giving COVID, so this one is COVID. So the COVID actually came, the reality became real, so that didn't make it even worse. So it's just to show you the coverage in terms of Victoria, the whole country. So those that are in blue are areas which are reaching over 100% coverage. So in terms of what we're using as strategies right now, it's not different from other African countries. We're using the school-based strategy as well. And from this, what we're playing so far is that it's a very effective method. But what we're playing, what has come out this one, is that teachers are complaining from our experience from the Gen 1. They're complaining that our involvement in the program is almost like community health workers. We involve them to gather the pupils, identify them, put them in the register, and change them. They don't have the technical knowledge of how effective this vaccine is. And yet their opinion is very important to the target you're dealing with. So we're trying to improve on that one as a method, as a country, to try and see how much we can involve them, much more than just. Then for those out of school, we use outreach services where we use the communities to gather them up. Next slide. Okay, and then the fixed method. So this one, after we do a child health week where we either catch those who are in school and those for outreach, we usually allow the health facilities for 21 more days to continue vaccinating at health facilities to catch those who could have missed for some reason from the school and also from the outreach. So we encourage them to continue coming to the facility to come and get their vaccines. Next slide. Okay. All right, so filling in the blanks again. So the heading there probably is the resumption of coverage after COVID. So after COVID, the resumption of coverage is that we are trying as a country. COVID interrupted everything. We are trying to prepare for a HPV mark. That's my age cohort. So we're supposed to do it this year, but we are unable to because of logistics. So we are targeting 2023, and the girls between 9 to 14, as a catch-up, as already mentioned earlier, were the ones we are aiming. So after that, after the HPV mark campaign, we are intending to get back to our routine, but now this time we're targeting the 9-year-olds, not the 13-year-olds who are targeting earlier. Yeah, because we have challenges on the 13-year-old and 14-year-olds. So the challenge was that, can continue? So the challenge is that these 13-year-olds, in most schools, they will be in between change of schools. They'll be in grade 7, then the following year they're going to high school. So give them dose 1, the following year you won't find them in that school, they'll go to another school. Then others by 14-year-old in some areas, they change even their status. Last time you gave them the HPV one, they were girls and were speaking to their parents. But now you go back the following year, they are mothers and wives, and the whole game changes. So we discovered this age group is quite problematic for us. So after the HPV mark, we'll get back to 9-year-olds whom we think like to be easier for us to get, to be quite constant when they're in school. So in terms of, before we came to, in terms of the challenge, we have also learned that even us as the managers for EPI, HPV has taught us that we have to relearn some of the things we do in EPI. Because in routine immunization, we are used that when you're giving a vaccine, the key messages are given to the mother. When the mother accepts, then we are okay. But now with HPV, the key messages have to be given to the mother, of course, but also even the client has the power to assert. So we need now to rethink how we are going to reach them to get that information. Then thirdly, we also have the teachers who, even when passing, they pass negative comments about the vaccination on HPV, that sticks in the minds of the learners who trust their teachers as the ones who give them information. So even them, apart from just using them to mobilize the girls, we need to give them much more information. And the other fourth group we have also learned to deal with are our fellow health workers. Because we are used that in our routine immunization, after we give the vaccination, we expect within the same year, you are fully immunized, and within the same year, you are safe from the disease. Now we are discussing HPV, whose effect will be seen 15 or 20 years from now. So you hear even learned people saying,
we have been vaccinating for the past 2-3 years, and yet we still have the incidence of cancers still rising. So you can see that there's a missing link even amongst ourselves. So even that must be also be dealt with. So in terms of challenges overall, was at first we never had standardized data collection tools. Then, of course, vaccine hesitance. In Africa, the issues of being able to have a child afterwards are very real. So now we're dealing with a girl, and a girl who probably is at age almost menarche. So they are always connecting it to the fact that the girls will not be able to fall pregnant. So that has been a very big myth we've been having to deal with. Then the weak collaboration between the volunteers and the health facilities in as far as dealing with this age group, which traditionally was not the age group we're dealing with for vaccination. So that has been a challenge as well. Okay, so having said that, I end there, Chair. Thank you very much.